W.T.F. Nation Radio
is in the house.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Let's roll.
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Mics are hot, cams are hot. Yeah! Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran AER Center of Excellence. This is Sergeant's Time. Just want to shout out. Look at that man with a big smile on his face. SMA retired. Tony Grinston. What is going on, Sergeant Major? Wait, can we call you? Do we got to call you? Do I have to stand in parade rest? What's going on?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, real quick. Welcome to Sergeant's Time.
I prefer Tony. Tony's a lot nicer than the Sergeant Major version of me.
Well,
that's why I'm smiling now.
Yeah, I was about to say you look a little relaxed. Did you tie one on before you came on? So that way, in case all the trolls are up in the chats.
No. Not a lot of day drinking. No. Although it's nighttime here, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
hey,
maybe I should have.
I was about to say maybe you should have just had a little bourbon. Yeah, exactly. What? I mean, we had some people going in the inbox. Actually, it's Michael. Why are you calling him Tony? Why are you? Can you give us a little bit of that before we go on? Because this has been like all day.
Yeah, I love it. It's actually a little code word, and it was actually great. And I used it as the SMA, and it was very effective. That nobody really publicly would announce me as Sergeant Major of the Army, Tony Grinston. So, but if you ever met me, I would always walk up and say, "Hi, my name's Tony," and it really was a ploy to see who knew me and who didn't. And it actually helped me out when I was SMA. You see all these people, and they go, "Oh, I know Mike." I'm like, man, not so much. So because I'm Michael A. Grinston, and my mom called me Tony since birth, and by the time I even figured out I had a different, first name, it was too late. But if you've ever met me, ever in my whole life, I've always said, "Hi, I'm Tony," ever. So I've always been Michael A. Grinston, and I always go by Tony. Now, there was one time it 100% backfired on me. So I was in a meeting with the Secretary of Defense, the chairman, and then the Secretary of the Army and the chief, and all the senior services, senior enlisted. We're all in this room with the Secretary of Defense. We're going around, we're having these topics. And then at some point, the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, says something to Mike. And I'm like, man, I wish this Mike dude would answer. I wonder, I'm like, who's that, man? And I wish this guy would stop ignoring the Secretary of Defense. I'm looking around. All of a sudden, I look over and he's looking at me. I'm like, oh my God.
Exactly.
I'm like, I guess I should talk because
exactly.
I literally did not know who he's talking to.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, okay. So that was kind of like an in thing then. If they really knew you, then you were called. Did you let people? I mean, come on a minute. Did you let people on the staff just let you call Tony outside the scene, like how us soft guys did?
100% no.
Oh man, I forgot you're here to talk about AER. Here we're talking about the good old days.
Will Rainier never said, "Hey, Tony."
Man, that's awesome. All right, so you got the gig 2 years in. Your second year as AER's CEO, and I mean, how did you? Well, let's do the origin story. I mean, we all know you're the SMA. We all know about your. I mean, we've seen it and read bios, but how'd you come up with this gig? What was the?
I said this today, I think, in one of our meetings, that I believe that 83 years ago they created a job that was perfect for me, called the CEO of AER. We get to help soldiers, and I love it. I love what I do. But how did I really get there? I'll tell you about one failure, and for whatever reason, everybody loves the failure. So when I was leaving the Army, and I was like, what do I want to do? And there was two jobs coming up, and they were both CEO positions, and both of them had never had a senior enlisted in the job. Not a lot of people come right out of the Army get a CEO.
Right.
So I interviewed for the Wounded Warrior Project, and Walt Pyatt's a great guy. He's the CEO now. But I got the interview, and I didn't even get to the second interview. And I posted that on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. It was like, oh man, that's so awesome. I'm like, why is it awesome that I failed? It's like, I don't know. Why is that good? But I got people calling me, are you okay? I was like, first of all, I retired as a Sergeant Major Army, so I'll be okay. So there's no worries here. I don't need therapy. But then the job I really wanted was actually to be the CEO of AER. When I try to tell people this is what I wanted, I actually talked to somebody is Paul Funk, General Funk.
Yep.
And he was like, you sure you want to be a fundraiser? I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. I'm like, it's like, no, actually, I don't. But what I really realized is I love the cause. I love helping soldiers and families so much. I don't care if I have to ask, everybody on the planet for $1. Because I know where it goes, and I love soldiers and their families, and that's all we help is soldiers and their families. So when I did get the job, I was so happy. And 2 years into it, if you ask me, you'll hear me say all the time, I love what I do. I don't like it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. I wake up and I go to work. I do get tired. I get worn out, but I've never had that day. I was like, man, this is terrible. Why am I doing this? Now there was several, it was probably every other minute I may have had that question. I
was about to say, you're like, oh my God. I mean, this is one of those gigs that I think, there's that, what's that saying? Then if you love your work, you'll never go to work. You'll never go to work every day of your life or something like that. I'm screwing up the meme, but it's because most I was kind of thinking about it. There's not too many enlisted CEOs out there in our professional, like AUSA. There's not too many senior. There's not hardly any senior enlisted aside from except for the one. And then,
well, you would be if you start your own business. I'm a CEO.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, that's fair.
But affiliated to the Army, though. Most individuals, they go and they're CEOs or whatever, but you never hear about SMAs or CACs going out to do their own thing, and they're part of a like AUSA or they're part of AER. This is a big first. Also, NCO
big
Power.
first.
Yeah, NCO Power.
Yeah, first one in the history of AER.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, this is a good news and bad news all at the same time. Is actually we had to change the bylaws because the rules of Army Emergency Relief actually said it had to be a retired officer. So
wow.
we not only did I the first, I literally rewrote the rules.
Just like our jump master conversation, first time go.
First time go.
First time go.
Well, I don't know about the first time go yet because I'm not done. So I could be fired.
Well, I mean, you're doing pretty good. I mean,
I could say, actually my comments are, I want to be I'm okay being the first, but I really don't want to be the last. And what I mean by that is if I screw it up, I realize that there's more on my shoulders than just me. Is that if I have a great example, maybe there'll be other places. So this won't be that anomaly, is that other senior enlisted will have those opportunities to be CEOs and presidents of corporations where we just have never had that opportunity. So I want to be the example. Well, Tony did it, so why can't you do it?
Right.
Kind of moment.
Right. You can kind of rub it into all the new ones coming in too. Hey man, why don't you freaking, step up and, take the seat. I don't know. Is that going to lead to to the typical sergeant major standing outside Yak and Gate, car dealership type thing? Is that going to lead that negative stereotype? Oh, he's just going to be an AER guy.
Yeah. I hope so. That's a terrible.
I was trying to throw a brag jokeism because we have some brag fans in there. So,
no Gates. And, I don't know. Why is people still talking to me about grass? And it's like, it's like, oh, you're on the grass. I'm like, I've been walking on grass for, I don't know, my life.
I was about to say, yeah, I didn't care about the grass either. Is there, what do you miss about the Army now that you're out? Is there anything you miss about it?
Some days, nothing. Just honesty here. But really, you're going to hear this all the time. But most people say the people. The good news is I'm still connected. I still travel. I'm on bases. I still see soldiers, and and leaders in the Army. And of course, as a former Sergeant in the Army, you get invited to a lot of things. You'll go back to AUSA. At the SMA's house, he hosts a dinner with the former SMAs with all the best warrior competition, best squad competition folks. So, you get more touch points than the average retiree enlisted. But still, miss waking up and having the impact on those young men and women. Although I still get to do that in AER, but not, I don't see them every day.
Right.
And yeah, that kind of thing. So it's great. That's probably the thing I mostly miss, and everybody's going to say the same. It's all about the people.
Exactly. Oh no, I'll be honest with you. I was seeing individuals that were talking stuff about the, I'm waking in the morning and all I hear in housing, or all I see soldiers are running in formation. I'm running late to my appointment. And I'm thinking, I kind of miss that. I kind of, guys singing cadences and everyone getting hyped up and you pump me up and everyone's like, yeah, that's something that I miss about it as well. So yeah, I was just kind of curious if there was some stuff that, I know nobody misses the meetings. Nobody misses the, oh, here we go. We're going to do this other counseling, or I got to do another counseling for this. Nobody really misses that, but yeah, you're right. It's the people for me too.
Yeah, your level of things you miss is kind of here. My level of things are.
I was about to say,
I don't miss testifying in front of Congress.
I was about to say, yeah, you're okay. You got me there. Yeah, you got me there. Yeah, yeah, you got me there on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't miss getting yelled at on screen and recorded. As a matter of fact, this is actually my first testimony. I think the exact words were, I care more about your soldiers than you do. I was like, and you never served.
Yeah.
That was pretty harsh there.
Yeah. The trolls. Oh man, but the criticism too of that position is kind of like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. There's always going to be a portion of the Army just really hates you for whatever reason. And I'll be honest, that's what hurts the most. I can understand people yelling at me in testimony. I can understand you being frustrated, but when soldiers like, I don't like what you're doing and all this, that, and it's not just not what you're doing. So, you're never going to please everybody with that. But some of those personal attacks is like, it's hurtful, and and they just do it because they can. Like, oh, this guy doesn't care. Here's my absolutely favorite one, and I never personally had said anything, but I'll tell you who stuck up for me. It was kind of interesting. Somebody at some point said, and this is almost like right at the end, it goes, this guy, probably never seen combat, and I bet he was a FOBIT. I'm like, well, and Will, brings this to me, and I'm like, he goes, what we're going to say? I said, don't say anything. And but guess who's, stuck up? Davis Winky, a reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what he put in, and he goes, I don't know. I think he has I'm pretty sure he's got 2 Bronze Stars with Valor. How many do you have?
Yeah. Oh no,
I don't think you get those by normally just
yeah.
On the
and of course, and then when you bring it up, of course, people say, well, how did he get the Bronze Star with Valor? What did he do? I mean, people start really dissecting it to the point where it's not even.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're just like everywhere. Okay, well, he got the Bronze Star with V because something happened, whatever. I'm like, do you even know? I mean,
yeah. I got a Bronze Star with Valor because something happened.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That cab meant nothing.
On the fob, I was serving chow in the chow hall. That's how I got it. I'm sticking to that story.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I was a cook. Yeah, you weren't an intern.
No, I'm gonna say I gotta be a 13 Bravo. So
I was about to say,
I was in the chow hall serving food, and that's how I got it.
There you go.
They said, "Hey, that's valorous."
What was the 13 Bravo doing serving chow? See, people are going to start breaking down that story too. So on Valor.
I was the first sergeant, so maybe it's Thanksgiving. You never know for serving chow in the chow hall.
Only on those holidays.
Yeah, if you do it on the holiday, you get
that's a V. Yeah. Okay, so let's get down to.
But if you did just a tad bit of research, there's actually a story about it. So.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You like the person. I know hey, I'm just trying to say right now, Tony, I know what it feels like to have the ungrateful comments or whatever flying at it. And you're just like,
I just say, bro, come at me, bro, whatever.
This is recorded. Anyways.
There it is.
Tony Grinston, former sergeant major of the Army, just said, "Come at me, bro," to all of his critics. And then next thing you know, it's going to get posted all over Fox. Anyways.
It's probably already posted.
It's probably being recorded as we speak. Okay, so let's get into the business of AER, the meat and potatoes. Speaking of cooking or handing out chow. AER, I'm going to keep doing the digs on the haters. AER rolled out an online application system. And to that effect, what have you seen? How's it working out? I mean, how's that going so far?
Well, first of all, how did we get here? It's like, what were we doing for the other 83 years?
Right. Exactly.
When you're the new guy, do we have? Actually, I said, do we have an online application? And the guy showed it to me and looked at it. And I'm like, wow, what does that do? It's like, well, it sends an email with your name over to the AERO. I was like, that's not an online application. that's an email. And I said, when I went and got my house loan, that's an online application.
Right.
So that's why I'm super excited. You go to armyemergencyrelief.org, one big word. And right there in the middle, you can hit application. I think it's going to take you to another screen when you do that. And then you can apply for assistance. And then once you click apply for assistance, you're going to start, filling out all the paperwork. So it's very good. And it really alleviates one of the stories I had. We went to Fort Bliss and the soldier's like, yeah, I went over here and I found, drove all the way over on the other side of the post, went to the AER office and they were closed. So you can just now go online, fill out the application, put all the information in. And if you load up all the right documents, you can get assistance actually, and may never even go into the office. And you sign through DocuSign, and we pay through ACH and Zelle. So, there's not a lot of excuses on, why you can't get help from Army Emergency Relief. And it's so important because I wanted to make sure that soldiers had access as much as possible to get us help and as quickly as possible.
I noticed that you were saying through Zelle, through that process is one of the things. We had a question from one of the commanders that wanted me to ask a question. Is that, does this leave the commander out of the loop?
Sometimes, yeah. I would say my job is to help soldiers and their families. That's it. So if they come to me, and they need help, I want to help them. I'm not in the business of, trying to, here's what I'm afraid of. If we go to and force them all to go to the commanders, they're going to stop using AER. Matter of fact, when I talk to soldiers, their number one question, I talk to leaders, it was like, I want you to tell me. And the number one thing for soldiers is like, I don't want you to tell my chain of command. So,
right.
I'm going to side for the soldiers and say, hey, that's what we're here for. We want you to seek help. And I want no barriers between you and assistance. Now there are some categories that you got to see your chain of command. Like if you've used this a couple of times, or if it's a certain type of case, we're going to put that in there. And we want you to go. I'm not saying, I don't want you to go to the chain. Of course I wanted you to go to the chain of command. But what I don't want is a soldier to go payday lender or something else, use a credit card, all these other means of, craziness that you get yourself in a bad way, or you can come get a 0 interest free loan or grant from Army Emergency Relief. That's my number one concern, and I'm going to stick to that.
Now, does that present a little friction point sometimes with the commanders? Like they'll come up and say, no, don't go through. I mean, there's gotta, I'm going to play the, I'm just looking at commanders, giving the commanders a side eye. There's gotta be a commander out there just like, man, you got to go through me no matter what. Have you run into
that? No, I think I probably got the opposite.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Here's, and I hate to tell these stories sometimes, but I've had one sergeant first class in the AER office, and he said, I need help. And I was in Korea. It's really odd because I happened to be in Korea. We were over there doing a visit, and And he was like, "Oh wow, you picked the right day. I just happened to be here."
Right.
So we grabbed the phone, talked to Marty. Marty called assistants all the way back to our headquarters. I said, "We're gonna help the guy." And we got in a car, and I said, "Marty, what was going on with the Star First Class?" We helped him. He's like, "Yep." But Tony, I got to tell you this. He goes, "Yeah, the battalion commander had, was told that Sergeant First Class went to his battalion commander and said, 'Hey, I need help.' And he said, 'What do you want me to do about it?'" So it's like, I probably have more cases where people don't know that we're there for the chain of command to help them. And I've really been trying to do my best to tell as many people, you can be the hero. You don't need me. Imagine that battalion commander takes that Sergeant First Class over there. That Sergeant First Class will do anything for that battalion commander if he did it.
Yep.
So I think I get more that. And, the people that say you got to go through me to get AER, they probably won't come to AER.
Right. Exactly.
Soldiers like, hey, if that's what they are, I'm not going to go there. So when I talk to soldiers, I tell them, you don't have to do that. We have direct assistance. And I talk to everybody about that online application. So again, if you're the chain of command, don't come after me and send me hate mail. So I love the chain of command. I was part of it my whole adult career mostly. And I'd love them to go to the chain of command, but it's not required.
Right. Is some of the is there some with the online application system? Is there any flags or something like that? I mean, is there something that says, is it a case by case? There's one person says, is this straight denial and then until you fight it? I mean, that's some of the, I'm just like, it just goes.
Denied.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends on what you apply for. There's 37 categories, and there's certain ones will go straight to certain offices, and certain ones you're going to say, hey, you need assistance. If you're a soldier coming out of basic training and you start asking for assistance, I think that's one of those requirements, is that within a certain amount of time, you probably need to go to your chain of command. Mm-hmm. So there's just so many criterias when it says, yep, you got to do that. If you've asked for assistance a couple of times, it's probably going to have to go to the chain of command. We're like, hey, what's going on? Is there something deeper there?
Right.
We gave you assistance once and you just came right back. What's going on? Is there something else?
Some of it's a little bit a leader diligence as well. To how much do you know your soldier, to why they're having to go to AAR 3 freaking times, and then they wonder, and then that's the denial that everyone immediately posts on social media. Well, because I didn't get this approved, even though I went to you guys 15 times. I didn't. I hate AAR now, and most of it's going to be. Everyone's like, Ken, why do you always simp for AAR? Simp for AAR. I mean, I have been as a younger Joe back in 1997 when I was a super trooper buck sergeant. AER assisted me to get a flight home, and granted, it was the prorated system back in the day before they started giving the emergency travel, which we're going to get in that in a minute. And it was pretty cool. They were like, hey, blah, 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 you need this. We're sorry to hear about, it was a death in the family. And then there you go. Okay, here's your go down to get the CTO to get your ticket. And here's it, I had a little voucher, AAR, this is back in the old day with the sliding freaking carbon paper and stuff like that. Got a ticket, and that was it. Yes, everyone was like laughing at my rank. Yes, in 1996, I was a buck sergeant. That's when I got promoted. February 1996. There you go. Everyone's calling me old.
Well, if they're calling you old, you should probably be in a wheelchair. So just so you know, I'm not going to tell you anything.
I was about to say, you better keep the age.
Such a baby. Such a baby. So that's all I was thinking in my mind. But yeah, here's what I'm going to say. If this isn't your old AER from 2 years ago, if somebody tells you no, send us a note. We get notes all the way up to the AER assistants. They have a group page that says AER assistants at the headquarters, and we get notes all the time. And if you don't like that, you send me an email.
Yeah, there's emails.
Like, right here, and check this out. They're like, what's your email address? Michael.Grinston@aerhq.org.
Zoltan,
that is my email.
Zoltan is in there going, hashtag back in my day stories. Why you mess? We were talking about Jumpmaster Corps Zoltan earlier, before we went live. So don't even go there. We graduated from the same one. So with that, you guys are just announcing in January, the emergency travel airfare change. Can you tell us about that?
I love that policy. It was a huge hit, and there's a little bit of personal story behind this. It's all bad, I guess, for me. But when I thought about emergency travel, I said, why don't we do this as a grant, a full grant? If you're eligible, this is not the time to go, hey, you know what? Let's make it 50% loan, 50% grant. I was like, why don't we just do it 100% grant? Now, at some point I'm going to have to really go do my other job and raise some more money. But I thought it was the right thing to do. And it's a personal story is, my mom passed away. Yeah. And when my mom passed away, I was the Sergeant Major of the Army. I flew home before she passed away. I was really lucky. I got a chance to see her before she passed. She was a little incapacitated, but it meant a lot to me to get home before she passed away. But she passes away, and then I fly back, grab my family, and we go back for the funeral. And then, so that's one plane ticket. Then we had another plane ticket to go back. And then, of course, in classic fashion, there was a thunderstorm in Atlanta on the way back. So my flight's delayed or canceled. And here's another thing I found out is when it's due to the weather, they don't pay for your hotel. So I pay for the hotel. I pay for the flight. I pay for 2 flights. Now, did I have the money? 100%. Mm-hmm. But all in my mind was like, what if I didn't? What kind of stress do I put on a soldier and their family and readiness and all these other things if they didn't have that money? Because they want to be there for their family. So to me, it was Army Emergency Relief. Or I'd say emergencies are middle name. So let's make emergency travel 100%. And I thought that's what we have to do. It's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
And it's very popular. So I love it. Hopefully everybody else does too.
But yeah, I was about to say, so what are you getting what kind of feedback are you getting from it? Are you getting any at all about it so far?
Yeah. Originally just nothing but positive. And then we've done, and then we rolled out the online application and we get feedback from that. So we're constantly looking for feedback. If there's anything we need to do better or worse. I mean, as we travel, I've heard nothing but positive things about the emergency travel and some of the other things we've changed along the way.
Jacob in the YouTube chat goes, what is the decision process if a soldier will receive a loan, grant, or a mix of the two?
It's usually based off your budget. If you have no money left over, it probably needs to be a grant. Why would I give you a loan?
Right.
So you got to fill out your budget correctly. So when you have disposable income, meaning if I've got, if I ask for a grant and you've got, $4,000 left over, why wouldn't I give it to you as a loan?
Exactly.
Like I think you can pay it back.
Yeah.
If you got $40 left over at the end of your budget, it probably needs to be a grant. Why would I take that? It's not. So it's all based off dollars. It's $400 left over. You're probably going to look at a grant. If it's some number higher than that, we're probably going to look at a loan. With certain categories are exceptions, and I'll give you one: domestic violence. If a spouse comes in and we find that they're eligible for domestic violence, that does not go to any chain of command, no garrison commander, and especially if it's a restricted case, you can go straight to your family advocacy program. They'll validate it. The thing goes to the AERO, and then we disperse the money as a grant only. So we do have some categories that are just grants. So, and that's just one example of one of the grants.
On the scenarios about the budgeting, do you at that point have you guys considered, or maybe you guys haven't, I don't know, have you guys considered using some sort of like, hey, maybe you need some financial assistance or financial coaching? Do you guys go into that?
You should know this, man.
No, I'm just Tony, I'm trying to help you out so you can answer it.
No, I'm just messing. Yeah, you know that. Of course we do. And that's my goal. When you really look at our vision, our vision is, at some point you don't need AER. That's always been my vision. And now we just wrote it in words, so we changed the vision since I've been here is that's what we really want. We want you to be, at some point you're going to be financially stable. And I thought about that when I first got here. We already had our AER already had a program. If you took a class, that would give you money back on if you got to pass the class. That's number one. Let's talk about that. You got to take the class and you got to pass it. You can't just take it. You fail it, you get money back. So if you if you get a loan, you can get, I think E4 and below is $500 grant towards your loan if you pass the class. 66 of, I think it's 66% of everybody that gets a loan takes the class. 66%, not 100, and about 85 of that 66% actually pass. So, yep, and just a large number. I think last year about $1 million given back to soldiers because they took those classes.
Right. And that was it was just recently posted on August 21st. And I was reading that before that. So everyone's like going, oh, can you have, if you go to the site, you'll see the matter of fact, let me go ahead, the financial frontline link and then get that set up. Has it been, I mean, do you get any, like, what do I got to take a class? Do you, I mean, there's gotta be, come on, Tony, I'm trying to find some controversy here. Is there anybody that?
Yeah, I think people do.
Yeah.
We probably get, we probably get more questions about, can I get it again and again and again?
Yeah.
No, you can't take, more than one class for, a loan, and no, we're not going to give you $500 off every time you take a class. And it's usually once. What I really want to do is, if you come back, and we talked a lot about the metrics. So sometimes I like the numbers. So what we're looking at is like, did this person come back and get another assistance from AER? And sometimes, yeah. And we're like, well, are we having an effect? Because they came back. I said, look, we didn't solve world hunger because you gave somebody a loan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they may need a couple touches. So we haven't implemented this yet, but at some point, I was looking at, would we have you take an in-person class? It's just not an online. So right now that's just online. It's not overly difficult to do that. You can just do it online. But do we want you to sit down with a financial planner, take some more time to take some more classes if you have to come back to AER? So we have not implemented that. So I get that a lot. That's probably the one I've heard the most.
Yeah, because I mean, talking with your comms and your pretty much all your comms, you mostly Amanda. Shout out to Amanda. Some of the cases that we get, we'll sit there and it's like, hey, make sure you hit AER. And the first, they're making me take a class. I'm like, look, this will help you out. If you do this, this is the reason why. And they have the experts to help, because that's what we get on our end, is we get the friction of you're making me take a class when I need money for now. And I'm like, no, you have to understand, they have to get to a specific, kind of give you a reason why they got to give it to you. They're just not going to give it to you because of a specific emergency that you think is an emergency. There has to be a quantifiable.
Yeah, to be clear, we give you that money, and then you get a credit on your loan.
And that's
so
what I'm
if you
saying.
get a loan,
yeah,
we give it to you. We're just not going to give you the credit if you don't take the class. So we're going to give you
exactly.
the loan money.
Pass the class and get some money off the loan, and there you go. From the inbox is if a soldier, this is from Zoltan, the S1 guru. I don't know if you follow Zoltan, the S1 guru. We provide each other assistance in complementing each other with mil per messages and Army directives. Really true. We have suspicions on who it is, but that individual still hasn't said who it is. So we're just going to go with Zoltan. Big Z.
The G1 Sergeant Major. Smoke Stevens. That's
what
I'm sticking with.
I'm sticking with what's his name? S1 Net Guru. What was his name? Willard or something like that? Mr.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
S1 Net. The guy that did the those emails. Oh man.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like or Pinball from USASOC. I thought there's different tiers of like suspicions on that. But anyways, from Zoltan, from the inbox, if a soldier takes out multiple grant loans, do you flag their chain of command to the situation, or do you keep it within house of AER? That's a good question. Kind of like lawyer-client confidentiality.
Yeah, that's when it could be they're required for you to see the chain of command. So when you start taking, that's why I said that's one of those ones on that second or third one. That's where it gets flagged that you won't get assistance. You're gonna have to talk to your chain of command.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Zoltan,
that's where the
Zoltan just corrected us on the name. Jerry Dillard, not Willard. I mean, two old guys here talking about Willard. Who's the my money? Yeah, Jacob says my money is on Jerry Dillard. S1net.
Okay.
That's what
I'll go with that. That's
I mean, come on, it's pretty timely information that Zoltan throws it out, and the next thing you know, we're like, wait a minute, how'd you got it before us? And so, the only way to know. Yeah, okay, that's a good question right there, because I know a lot of individuals. That's another thing too. That's a good question. Do you have inbox sanctity like W.T.F Moments does? Like you don't blab to the command, or you don't say, hey, so and so has this, or you kind of keep that close hold?
Yeah, we keep that close hold. We don't give information out. Once we do get the information, I don't know of any cases that we said, yep, hey, what's going on? We always want to notify that, of course, if there's life, limb, line of sight, just like anybody else, if you call us, it's like,
right.
It's like, this is really bad. We're calling it chain of command. So let's be clear on that one. But once you're in the system, no chain of command really has access to arms. That's not what we do.
Okay.
Like I said, what happens is when you're in the system and then you come back for assistance, you just won't be able to get assistance because it will be flagged that you got to go to the chain of command. But once we're in there, it's
your own due diligence as well. Kind of keep the Zoltan's got, allow me to further clarify. Zoltan, you just wanted to dial in too? Is that what it is? I mean, I'm trying to get Zoltan.
He's digging in.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Zoltan to reveal themselves. One of the things that I said about AER when we get it in the inbox and we give it to Amanda is that we say, well, it's going to inform my chain of command. Well, I think there has to be some sort of a little bit of reporting that, hey, look, because the commander will say, or first sergeant will say, just go AER. Well, they won't give me a loan. Well, why won't they give you a loan? Well, why won't they give you a grant? Well, because, maybe I didn't tell you that I took 3 out, or something like that.
Yeah. There it is.
There it is. And then you're like, oh, well then shit, where did you get that from then? What other,
like I said, we're not diming them out, but
right.
That's the forcing function. We do have to put some kind of limit. What we don't want is somebody getting in a really bad way, because we are part of the Army, but like I said, I want to help soldiers as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But also, at some point, when do we make sure that we force them to ask you a lot of questions? In all reality, if you trust your chain of command, this shouldn't be an issue, right?
Of course.
I mean,
of course.
I would feel, if I was a first sergeant all the way to be the SMA, and I'll just use Will Rainier. If Will didn't tell me something when he was going through a hard time, I wouldn't blame the soldier. I'd blame myself. I'd like, man, what did I do to cause this barrier?
What did I miss or something like that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we got that's where we got the clarification. Oh, he hit it on the head. Okay. There we go. Zoltan popped a question and then our discussion answered the question. So there we go. The question was not in the way that the COC should stop, but they should know at least to assist their soldier or that they may have a troubled soldier within their ranks. Exactly that, Zoltan.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as I can, and sometimes that's where I usually bang my head against the wall is I think what happens when I come out, people have this allergic reaction to what I'm going to talk about. And for whatever reason, I put way too much thought into this over 2 years. I think that when I say, hey, I need to come out and talk to you about AER, they think I'm going to walk out there and say, please donate to AER.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I normally forget to ask for anything. Even if I am at a, campaign event, my talking points are never, leads with that. Although when I go in the room, I was on an unnamed post talking to leaders, and I go in and they're like, oh, okay. I said, okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and let's do it. You're going to answer these questions. If you get them all right, we'll see. We'll see if you get them all. Number 1, and this is what I ask, because everybody thinks, they know the answer. They know about AER. They know exactly what I'm going to say when I come in. And here's what I start with. What makes AER unique? You've asked me all these questions, so now I'm asking you a question.
Yeah,
What's the one thing that makes AUR so unique?
It's from the soldier. I mean, it's donate.
Nope,
From,
not it.
see, there you go. I've already screwed up. Well, cancel out my loan.
There it is. Loan canceled. The fact is that we are the only nonprofit that has active duty soldiers on our board.
Really?
Now you can be on a board, in a capacity, but in their capacity as the vice chief of staff, he's on my board.
Really?
So at one point I said, "Hey, Vice, what other boards are you on?" He goes, "None." Yes, that's exactly. So, yeah, there you go.
That's a board question right there, guys. I know we've been throwing board
there it is.
social media. So
okay, that's number one. Number two, what and you got to have this. If you're fanning yourself with documents, let's see what you got here.
I'm getting heated up. Let me fan myself with
what authorities do a captain or first sergeant anywhere in the Army have with AER?
What authorities? Damn. What approval authority? Approval authority for referrals, for loans, for. I mean, all right, dude, you put me on the spot. I haven't been a first sergeant in years, so why are you messing with me like this?
I know. Hey, man, I'm in the hot seat. You're asking me questions. Come on, answer it up, brother.
Oh my God, you just gave some sound bites like crazy. Recommend? None? I mean, what authorities do they have? They have no authorities if they're going to online, right?
Wrong.
Oh, shit.
Right. You failed twice.
All right, there you go. Zoltan.
So, number two.
Thanks, Zoltan.
Every commander and first sergeant in the Army, if they're a commander and first sergeant, can approve a $2,000 loan from AER.
Wow. Now, these are changes, or this is just something that
it's been it's really recent, like 15 years ago we changed it.
So recent. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Just the other day when maybe I was the battalion sergeant major or first sergeant.
Shit.
Okay go. You ready? No.
Oh, okay. There's three. Okay, there you go. Put my ass on the
I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah, I was about to say. Now you got me sweating. Anyways, make sure you donate to AER.
No, stop. Get that away. Come back.
Okay.
Focus. Okay. Number three. Who else in the chain of command or any person on the post has authorities with AER?
I would be the garrison commander, right?
Okay, good. Okay, we're getting there. What authorities, and if there's a dollar figure, what's a dollar? Loan, grant, what is it?
I think it's garrison commander has authorization to do at least I think it's like a $5,000 loan or $10,000 grant, something that has to do like with the disaster relief or something like that. Or
still missed it all.
Okay, well,
okay.
The chaplain.
You were so close. What about the sergeant major? Can he do any? Garrison sergeant major? Can he do anything?
No, I don't like garrison sergeant major, so no. I'm gonna go with no on that one.
Okay. Well, you're 0 for 3. So
yeah, I was about to say,
$5,000 loan or grant, every garrison commander or sergeant major on every Army installation worldwide.
Okay, well, that was close. There you go. I'll take a half.
Now, going back to how all this started is I need everybody in the Army to know that. And what happens is, I get called and, you got all those people on there right now saying, you didn't help me. You didn't help me. You didn't help me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't call me. You don't have to ask for authorities if you go with those parameters. So if you're saying, I told you no, maybe not.
That's a good, I was about to say that friction
that
I was telling you about.
Yeah, it's like, you AER people are terrible.
Yeah. Why are you simping for them? This is an Army voice piece now for blah, blah, blah. Like,
so we want to incentivize. Like I said, we like the chain of command. You could go to your chain of command and ask for a $2,000 loan. Right there, approved. And $5,000, $4,000 for your AER officer. And that's per case, by the way, loan or grant, and a $5,000 loan or grant from the garrison commander or the sergeant major.
Zoltan says, "Can we get this in a slideshow?" I think you have it on your website already, right? I mean, I think you. I was about to say that.
Man, I got so many slideshows with this on it. Yes.
I'm about to say, why do you?
Yes, we can send you a slideshow.
Yeah, I'm about to say, no need for slideshows, Zoltan. I get more board questions for Tony to ask me at the next appearance.
Yeah, that's it. Was only 3. What's the stress? So I gave this brief at this unknown location, and believe it or not, at the end, the battalion commander came up to me and they gave me a coin and said, "You know what?" Well, they shook my hand anyway, but maybe I can't remember if it was a coin or not. But they shook me. Yeah, every time I feel like I was getting coins, but I usually give coins. I don't get coins anymore. Mm-hmm. But what I did was, they shook my hand and said, "I learned something today." But you could tell when people walk in the room, they expect that, I'm going to talk about something other than how do you help soldiers and their families. And my heartbreak is that I gave this brief to a room full of captains. It wasn't one, it was hundreds, and nobody got it right. Mm-hmm. And usually in a room of maybe 20 to 30, I'll get 1 or 2 that might know that, what I told you. Yeah. So in other words, you got to know how to help soldiers. And then for soldiers, you need to know where to go get help.
I was about to say, because, I don't remember seeing any of this for the company commander first sergeant course right before I took the seat. They didn't have this.
I'm working really hard.
I was about to say, injecting that into some PME there for the guys that are about ready to jump in. We'll get this on a slide. Zoltan says, "I'm old as well. We'll put some information off the website."
Mr. Dillard.
Yeah,
stop telling him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Stop saying Zoltan. Yeah. If that garrison commander at SCL is not in the Army, what if it's a joint on a joint base?
Yeah, we have a memorandum of agreement with every joint base. Air Force Aid Society does all their relief at the headquarters.
Gotcha.
So that probably wouldn't apply there. But the Navy Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and Air Force, if you do happen to go into one, we have a memorandum of agreement with every relief society on any joint base that they would help any soldier. And what they do is they'll help you through the case, which you really don't have to do. You can do it online now. Then that would come up to the headquarters for approval, or we could send that to any base because it's an online approval process. We could send that to any AERO or garrison command team, but we have a memorandum of agreement with all the joint forces. If they approve that, we'll disperse the funds.
Gotcha. Somebody asked about the categories, and as we were talking while Tony was grilling me on a board question, there you go. There's the categories of assistance. Long time ago, we used to do drives, or we used to do runs for the cranial helmets, and that was one of our big drives back in the day. And this was just taken up not too long ago, a few years back. Well, I keep saying not too long ago, like it's like last year or something. And that right there is what you see: emergency travel, national disasters. Now, look, guys, there's just some things that AER is just not going to get because that's not what they're made for. There's not what they're designed to do. In your typical living of a soldier's life, or a retiree, because you could be a retiree too.
Yeah, we do retirees. Yeah.
Do you guys do GS civilians? DA civilians?
No.
So it's only
just
soldiers and retirees. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Right. If you active guard reserve over Title 10 over 30 days I call it with an exception, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then surviving spouses, if you die on active duty, we're going to help you for their spouse for the rest of their lives, and retirees rest of your life. Mm-hmm. That's who we service. We actually don't help veterans, and that's not who we are. That means we're just for the active duties, those serving right now. So if you do one tour and you get out, I call people. Matter of fact, I had a case today. Somebody said, "Hey, this is a veteran." We have a list of veterans organizations, nonprofits that we'll send you to. That's just not what we do. And then on the exception for the Guard and Reserve, I say normally with a but anytime you call me, because I want to help people. And I've had National Guard soldiers in Title 32 status. And if you don't know about titles, that usually means they're under state authority. And they needed help. they needed financial assistance, and the last one was in Michigan, and we did about $115,000 of grants for National Guard soldiers in a Title 32 status. So, when you send me notes, I send them to Charles, who's our chief of assistants, and I try to do everything I can to help soldiers and families. But yeah, occasionally we tell somebody no. We had, I think we had a lieutenant colonel ask for a loan for your rental properties. Yep, we did not do that. So
what was the? I mean,
so
in a situation like that, again, that was just case by case. Everyone thinks that it's a blanket no. So in case by case situation, I mean, you had to do a budget analysis and a worksheet for a lieutenant colonel. I mean,
I'm not. That's not what the CEOs do.
No, I mean like you as the organization, I should say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody was probably doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was on the online, budget thing. But here's what I wanted to say about those categories up front too: is if you've got something and you think soldiers need help, and it doesn't fit into the mold of those categories, I want you to call us. And I'm gonna do everything I can to help. I have, that's why I do love being the CEO. I have, the authorities to help soldiers and their families and grant exceptions. And I do it all the time. I had one, really broke my heart. The soldier was accused of killing his spouse. And when that happens, the Army's not going to give you the SGLI,
right.
If you're accused of murder. And the parents didn't know how they were going to fly the body back home and bury him. That was an exception, and that was a grant. So that's what I mean. If you got a case where, something like that, don't be afraid to ask. What's worse going to happen?
Right, exactly. And just like all the chastising in the chats and or the comments or on the advert post, just if you don't know, if you don't try. And obviously, like we were talking about, back in 1980, AER didn't help me do whatever. And don't lambaste the organization for a decision that was made back in the day when you're trying to make a difference. You yourself are trying to make a difference to the organization. With all the changes, any new changes coming out? Anything that's going to be that you've changed so far since you've been here, or anything that's going to be coming forward?
I'll be honest. I feel like I've changed everything.
No, you ain't lying. No. What's that?
Way too.
Yeah.
You want to slow that down? No, I don't. But we don't have a lot of people, in the headquarters. I think today it might be 34. We're kind of small. We punch well above our weight for the size that we are. People think we got, millions of people up here, but that's actually not true. So the biggest one we're still trying to push, you probably heard me talk about it, is full-time Army Reserve are eligible regardless of how long they're on the status, whatever. They're Title 10, and I want to help them. We've been working with the Army Reserve all year. I think we're so close. I'm still thinking, still hoping we're going to get this done by the end of the year. That's the major one. We're going to add the Army Reserve. I'm still, later on, we got to learn from that.
Yeah.
And I want to add the National Guard eventually to full-time, regardless of status. But we got to take this in small increments. And
are we talking about, we're talking about drilling reservists and drilling guards or the active guy or the AGR?
No, I'm not talking about AGR.
Oh,
I'm talking about you doing 1 weekend a month.
Really?
You need financial assistance. Could you come to AER? Yeah.
Wow. That's I'm about to say that's groundbreaking, because it's always been that's always been like, if you're a reserve and you're drilling, you're doing your Muta 4s and 5s, that you don't count that. I'm gonna tell you what, Tony, if you pull that off, man, that's gonna be some. That's going to be, you said you drink bourbon, right? That's going to be some serious celebrations right there, because that's a big, that's a lot of inbox traffic that we get as well, is that, hey, does AER cover, reserve or National Guard? Like, are you active duty? Are you active Guard reserve? Are you doing your, are you, no? And they're like, no, that doesn't. So, we got a couple questions in here. Lots of talk about how to get assistance from AER. How can the general public help support AER? Are you guys doing like movies, TV spots, commercials, or something like that?
No, we don't do that. They're too expensive. So this is it. This is my spot. No,
Well, like I said, the sergeant's
really
time, like we did the sergeant's time intro, maybe do a little competition. Hey, if you're gonna
yeah.
have them do
We do a lot of social media. We do a lot of podcasts. Clearly, we do you name it. And I'm on AFN. I'm not gonna lie. If you come from overseas, you're gonna see this face a lot. So we have an AFN commercial. So if you're over in Korea or Germany or somewhere, say Iraq, Syria, and you're forward deployed, you get AFN. We have an AFN commercial that kind of still gets out there.
Right.
How can you help us? I'm going to say this: number one thing you can help is know about AER, and if you hear a soldier in need, you take them over to AER. That's what I want you to help with. Number one is knowing that we're here to help you. There isn't a month that has gone by, probably 2 years, that I heard that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about what we do, I said, yep. If you're PCSing and you need some assistance with childcare, we got a program for that. And you saw that on the screen.
Yep.
And somebody will go, yep, I didn't know. And then, so all these times we're giving these briefings about who we are and what we do. I've heard more, I don't know, my joy is in 3 years, I go out to brief and people actually know who we are, how we help you, and then how to get help.
Now, I was about to say, when you get that I didn't know stuff, what can commanders do about getting the message out? Aside from, we answered our own question when we said company commander, First Armored Corps, because that's like the basic ground level, anyways, where the rubber meets the road. Is there anything you guys have, like a commander's packet, or Zoltan's asking for more slides, so
yeah, we trust me, we could kill you with some slides here at AER. So Brandon, our COO, he's a fantastic chief operations officer, and we got some. We can give you all the slides that you need. But I'll be honest, if you're a leader and you're listening to this, I'd ask one thing: is just care. That's all you got to do. Just ask. Mm-hmm. Just say, hey man, this soldier is struggling with finances. I'm not sure where to go. I know you do something with AER. You walk them over there, and I think that's it. I don't need you to be an expert. I just take that one step and say, I know AER is here to help soldiers. I'm going to take you, not send you. The PV2 that had to go to the AER building on his own.
Right.
True story. I called him. It's like, they're struggling. I'm not sure, how you're going to get that bed at your first duty station. I'm not sure how you're going to do the washer and dryer. That sounds like you need some help with some money. Let's go take you to AER. Mm-hmm. And let us be the experts. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm the CEO. And I am not the chief of assistance. I know a lot. I know enough to be extremely dangerous. But we've got wonderful Army emergency relief officers out there that are going to help you. And if you got a leader that knows that we're out there and we want to help, my favorite thing is when a commander sends me a note. And matter of fact, there's one commander, she's got my personal phone and she sends me texts all the time. And this is true. Mm-hmm. I'm not making this up, and I love it. She's at a post. And believe it or not, it was one of her soldiers, I think, was drinking and driving, ran into a house, and was drinking and driving, ran into a house, messed up this other soldier's house, and all the deductibles for all the the insurance deductible, I don't know, did some other damage, and like we're running up all the bills. They had insurance, and she called me for this other soldier, and I said, Charles, chief assistants, how can we help them? So that's the number one I would say for leaders is just, I don't need you to be an expert in AER. I just need you to just send us a note. It's really rare. I don't know if I've done it yet, where a chain of command, like a leader, battalion commander, first sergeant, sergeant major, sent me a note and said, I recommend grant or loan for this soldier. Mm-hmm. And we have turned that down. I have not turned down one yet where a chain of command said yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Not that I remember anyway.
Right.
So I'll use that one little disclaimer. So.
Zoltan, question from the inbox. Can we see an app to be released for the foreseeable future, maybe something like IPS-A. Oh, why'd you got to go with IPS-A? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Let's do an IPS-A app.
Yeah. Maybe something like IPS-A, not an app, but more so of a portable framework. Well, I'm glad you asked because, me and Amanda were talking about some of the stuff that we were working with in AER and what she was asking us to do. There is an online application QR code on the portal that you could use on your phone. So, see, how come you didn't ask me about that, Tony? See, I would have probably been a winner on that one. Now everyone thinks I'm a dork because I didn't. Way to go, Ken. You can answer SMA's question.
You're right up there with, I don't know, like 95% of all people that I talk to. I wouldn't ask the questions if you answered.
I was about to say, yeah, thanks. Thank you for giving. So right quick, AER's online application. I'll leave that up while we talk. And there's that. Matter of fact, let me make that QR code a little bit bigger there so you guys can snatch it. Trust me, this is authenticated properly, and it will take you to the portal. There you go. So scan the QR code to get started. Let's see the website. AR. We got AR in the questions. There you go. Bam. There we go. All right, there we go. Everyone's your team's in there engaging as well.
Yeah, there you go, as they should be. Here's the one thing, because you did ask for an app, so we don't have an app. So I do want to be clear. My number one priority is making our website better.
Okay.
So we got to. There are links to videos. They're a little hard to find. Some of the information is not as intuitive. So our goal next year is to probably redo the website. So it's just a lot more. Some of that information is above the fold. It's not hidden. It's there. It's a lot more user friendly. So we're going to work on the website, and then first, because that's when you start, you hit the Google search, that's where you're going to come up. And we've talked about an application, but we just got an online application. So again, small group of people, and we got big things to worry about. So not saying no, we got to go. My priority is right there is getting a better website, add an Army Reserve, add National Guards, things like that.
Have you, you should get with Rob Evans from Hots and Cots. I'm pretty sure he can help out. I'm just pitching you out there, Rob. Hots and Cots. Like that setup. I think that's what the kids are asking.
Yeah.
But a lot of app infrastructure depends on a good backbone with the website, so that way it can interact. So that's what people don't understand. Well, just get an app. I'm like, well, you got to have a good website to play off of the app to use the app. That's what people don't understand. And I'm like, asking web developers, how come it doesn't work like that? And I get told the same thing. Well, it doesn't work like that, Ken. So, what was the question? What did Cause ask? Lots of talk. Okay, there we go. I think it was absolutely the spouse. There was a spouse question in there. I didn't know there was a spouse question. What was I'm not going to zoom. There's like a ton of freaking comments in here. All right. So what's the future for you? What's the future? We talked about everything else. What's your you're going to bring what? Somebody asked, what about leg tucks for the,
yeah, maybe the Secretary of the Army and I bring back leg tucks. No, I just got here.
I was about to say,
I'm trying to get rid of me.
Yeah. These guys I think are trying to go off on the other stuff before AER time, because I think it's they're like, okay, enough AER. Let's talk about him.
Let's do it. Give me one good question. That's in there.
Maybe implement a train-to-trainer course worth promotion points. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Sounds
good. You really should talk to the 17th Sergeant Major Army
about it. Ooh.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Do you somebody this is from one of our admins. One of our admins asked, bring up beards. How come you didn't Photoshop a beard on the graphic? Oh man, that we don't believe in the misinformation, disinformation, especially unless it's a meme.
Oh no, I heard there's no more beards in the army. That's what they told me.
Yeah, dude, what's up with that? Okay, so
I don't know.
we'll get the
Not my problem.
Yeah. Dude, you know they're gonna get the fucking soundbite out. Oh, sorry, you're not gonna get the soundbite out of that.
Oh, man.
I dropped my first F-bomb. Damn it! And I was waiting for you to drop one. You know that they're gonna
I've been waiting for a minute.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna like, oh man, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. The beard stuff. Okay, somebody asked, did you really want beards while you were SMA? There you go.
Did you get beards?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's your answer.
Oh man.
All right.
There's probably a lot of rumors out there.
There was rumors about you wanting them and not wanting them, but then you decide not to do it, or you got pushback or whatever. So.
It might have been true. That might be true. There may be some truth to that. I'll be honest. At some point, we needed to regulate it. We didn't look good at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. So we're either going to say you can do this or you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So believe it or not, I'm all in favor of what Mike Weimer's doing. I know now I'm just going to make everybody mad again. But it needs to be, put back in the box.
Mm-hmm.
It was out of control for a minute.
That in social media
so really,
too. That in the I mean, social media practices has gotten a little out. I'm not talking about whatever stuff out there that is being in current news, but I'm talking about now we're seeing stuff that is in uniform that would pale our timeline. You're like, it puts our timeline into shame. I'm like, God, you guys really posting that stuff, doing that stuff, and it's almost like the content creators are outperforming us in the memeage. So do you got any favorite? I don't want to say this. Somebody asked me, do you have any favorite influencers that you like to work with? He can't. That's like picking a kid. That's like picking. I'm about to say he's not gonna answer. When I asked the question, I'll say it. Do you have a favorite influencer? That's messed up. He likes all the influencers.
They're all great. I mean, we've been very fortunate that we've done a lot of fun things, and I really want to thank Sean, who's in charge of our Marcoms team, Sean Ryan. He's just really come up with some really great ideas. We had we had this one that we did at Fort Hood. Must have got 500,000 views in like a nanosecond. But the funny part is didn't have anything to do with AAR. So we here's a philosophy is just being out there talking to folks and doing something. We did a Squid Games event in Korea. It was kind of cool. So we're always trying to do new and creative things, and I thank Sean for kind of getting this out. With social media, we've got a lot of great ideas, and I'm kind of usually open to do any other thing. Somebody's like, no, you wouldn't. Sergeant majors are really stuffy folks. Not actually true. So
you're just busy. What are you talking about? That's what it is. You're busy. That's it. Your calendar is like,
that's what that look on my face is never, you were even saying, it's like, hey man, smile. I was like, well, when you're the CEO, believe it or not, you got other things on your mind.
Right.
Exactly. There's all these things going on. You got to get a budget. You got to help people out. You got to, all these changes you want to make. You want to get them done. You want to get them go faster. So, and then the bottom line is, the more I can do, the more I help soldiers. That's usually at the back of my mind. So I got this look like, all these things are twirling around in your head. But you want to do things that help people. So my looks are usually deep in thought, and a lot of people put more thought into it than I do. But we got a lot of great things on social media. We don't have a favorite, and we try to be really creative in what we do. But one of the famous things that people liked about what I did on social media, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. We were at Fort Jackson Drill Sergeant School, and they wanted me to be the guest speaker. And then one of the drill sergeants said, hey, can we take a photo? I said, yeah. He goes, hey, will you take a photo with me, giving you the knife hand and I'm doing push-ups? I was like, 100%. He's like, what? Like, yeah, you'll do that? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So we posted that one on LinkedIn, and everyone's like, that's so awesome.
Yeah. Well,
so
I think what it is that people have this image of what, the stuffy HQDA, they wouldn't do that. And then there you are clowning around with other influencers. I think that's what got a lot of people. They're like, wait a minute, is that who I think that is? And like we're getting it right now in the comments. Is that Grinston? Climb to glory. Everyone's making
to the top.
To the top.
Yeah,
there you go. All the way.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my only contribution to that. But yeah, so no, everyone, someone says you have resting SMA face.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
We get on here. You're like, are you okay? I was like, that's just what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
So, I think that's it. I think everyone, I appreciate your all's comments. I think that's all the questions that I had, going off my notes. You got any last things you want to say before we end the segment?
I just want to say, thank you for having me on so I get a chance to talk about my favorite topic, which is helping soldiers and their families. I really appreciate it. The more we can get this word out, that we're actually your nonprofit and that we want to help. And, I'm be honest, most of the time when we tell you no, it's not because we don't want help. We don't have unlimited funds. It's like, yes, you do. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
So we do not get appropriated funds at all. It's all through donations. So, when I tell people no and I don't do more, it's not because I don't want to. There's a bunch of things that we already do, like 50% loan, 50% grant. I'd love to change those to full grants.
Right.
I just got to be a better fundraiser, and I'm working on it. But without anything else, I appreciate your time. Thank you for getting our message out, and just know that I am here to help soldiers and families as much as I can.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. Zoltan says, all right, I received over 40 comments and messages concerning this. SMA retired Grinston. I would like to officially give you an official Zoltan coin. Wait a minute, I ain't got one. That's so cool, though. But wait, Zoltan, you got to give him a coin? Oh, there you go. So that's what I'm talking about.
As it should be. You didn't answer my questions.
Yeah.
If you answered my questions, you get a coin.
Yeah. See, there you go. Well, Tony, I appreciate you coming on. And somebody said, would you like to do an AMA or talk about AAR on the Army subreddit?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jacob. That's open to AMA. I guess you got to hit him up. And how many accounts do you have? Do you still have your burners? Everyone says, okay, SMA, how many burners? You got to know what his burners are. I'm like, I don't freaking know. I was like, so that's one of the lore of it is that you have a bunch of burners that creep on our comments. So Tony, once again, thanks for hanging out. And again, this was like you said, this was years in the making trying to get you on here, and we do appreciate your time too as well. And we didn't mean to keep you up that long. Sorry.
Yeah, you get old, you got to go to bed at 7:00. Not true.
No way. We're talking about we don't sleep. What's that?
Yeah, I never sleep. Actually, I get up and I start checking my phone, and I'm like, don't send a text. They're gonna think something weird. It's like 4:20.
Yeah. In our comms world, man, it doesn't matter. I don't sleep, so I'll wake up. Someone sends me something. Oh yeah, I gotta send it to this commander. And then I put it down, and then my phone blows up in Korea. Hey, I'm in Korea. Well, I didn't know this happened. So, hey, someone said that in our previous guests with military leaders, we have a tradition, and we have a keepsake that we provide to as part of WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. And then we also have a request. Would you do a real quick like soundbite? Hey, you're listening to WTF Army, U.S. Army WTF Moments, blah, 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 on WTF Nation Radio, blah, blah, blah. Would you do something like that?
Which part? The blah blah blah.
Okay, let's put it this way. Hey, you're listening to U.S. Army. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio's Sergeant's Time, or something like that. Something to that effect.
You're listening to WTF Sergeant's Time.
No, WTF. Okay, one more time from the top. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to WTF Moments, U.S. Army WTF Moments, Sergeant's Time.
From the top, one more time. You're listening to U.S. Army WTF Moments, Sergeant's Time.
There you go. we'll get your information. I'll get with Zoltan so that way we can package up something to send you from our side of the house. But we give a keepsake for all of our military guests. Or I think in your case, you get the guest of the military guest because of who you are. So all the other retirees are going to hit us up. Hey, I didn't get one. So sorry, this is just the way it is. I am nervous, Pip. This is the SMA. It has been foretold that he was going to come. Our long-awaited meeting has come at last. What are you talking about? So, anyways, so thanks again. Me and Tony are going to take a break right quick and shoot the breeze in the back. So I'll come back in a second. Wait, what time is it? Oh no, well, we'll close it up. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sergeant's Time. Thank you, AAR, for loaning us your CEO. Shout out to everybody in the chats for giving us the feedback, and we're gonna go ahead and close it up. Might as well. Let's close it up. So y'all have a good night, and see ya. Tony, stand by.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Driving us insane. ATF 0 dark 30, no time to complain. Push ups in the mud, feel the muscle strain. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Hilltops in the desert, sandstorms in our eyes. Memories for breakfast, no room for lies. Rocket marches through the night under starless skies. Brothers and sisters, we rise. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos, in the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Drill sergeant fury echoing in the air. Discipline and duty we all must bear. Battle bodies by our side in the fight we share. In the face of danger we dare. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Flames and firefights, adrenaline's rush. Silent nights, broken by the enemy's hush. Medics on the move in the heat of the crush. In the heart of battle we trust. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. Memories in our mind. Brothers lost but never left behind. Army WTF moments in the stories we find. In the Army's embrace, we're forever entwined. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Through the smoke and the flames we rise again. In the heart of the storm we find our sin. Battle buddies by our side, our men. In the Army's legacy we transcend.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.